Hi friends, I am here today with 8 more pen questions. And this is sort of take 2. I was doing this earlier and then Amanda came by. We had a lovely evening together, I think so. Hopefully she agrees. But let's dive in. So, 8 more pen questions. Number 1, do you have different uses for different pens? This one's pretty easy. No, I just use them all for writing. But to be slightly more verbose, I do use my gel pens for addressing envelopes, signing checks or legal paperwork, and I save my fountain pens for basically everything else, taking notes, writing in a journal, writing down recipes, even on stuff like index cards, and they bleed through and it's great. So, not really, but sort of. Number 2, how do you choose the inks and pens you will use next? As my whimsy takes me, I will sometimes come at it with I'll look at my pen case and say, ooh, I haven't used that in a while. Let me pull that pen out and then think of an ink that goes well with it. Sometimes I'll have a new pen and want to get that in there. Sometimes I'll have a new ink and want to get that in. Sometimes I will, if you've watched my currently ink, you'll see me do this where I'll look at everything that I have currently inked and then think, this is missing something. Like maybe I need a pink or I want a purple in there. And then I'll go from there and pick which particular pink or purple and what pen I want to put it in. But generally, it's just like, whatever I feel like right now. Very frequently, something teal or blue. Number 3, which pen do you prefer for longer writing sessions? I think the easier way to put this is to talk about pens I don't prefer for this, which is pens with a metal grip, metal section, or ones that are really slim. I don't have many pens in those categories intentionally because I find that I grip them tighter and then I end up with a big writer's bump or a hand cramp or something. But otherwise, most of my pens, I'm just going to use to write with them and for longer or shorter, whatever the case. I suppose, it's really just about if there's a pen that I'm probably going to grip too tightly, I don't want to use that for a longer writing session. Number 4, what is your all-time favorite pen? If we say all time, of all time, the answer, probably a Pilot G2. Because it's the one I've been using the longest and it is the most extensible, which I like because that can mean 2 things, right? You like that? Realistically, though, my favorite pen is going to change from, if not moment to moment, certainly day to day or week to week. I'll tell you a few favorites from right now, this minute. First off, I think the Pilot G2 has been replaced in my heart with this one, which I have to put my glasses on to read, and I still fail. This is the Uniball Signo 1. I got this from Jet Pens, and I love it. It's got a nice body. It's got that rubberized feeling on the plastic, which makes me think it's probably going to turn sticky. You know the kind of plastic that does that, right? I like how the clip is like paper clippy, but like not. And it has a nice click to it, and it writes really well. I have it, I just knocked over some samples. I have it in a size 0.7, but I actually, in my cart at Jet Pens, have a 0.5 because the 0.7 is actually pretty chonkers. Since it's the one kind of pen I'll sometimes need to write in smaller spaces with. My other favorite pen of all time is probably my Visconti Kaleido Unicorn Galaxy, maybe it is. I love this pen. It's beautiful. However, when I got it, it basically wasn't functional. It didn't write. The nib didn't touch the feed enough for ink to actually reliably feed out of it. So the nib itself was fine, but once you had gotten past the ink that you had dipped it into, basically, it wouldn't feed. That's unacceptable. It's for any pen, let alone one at this price point. So I hesitate to say it because of that reason. If we go with one that I have no qualms recommending, at this point at least, is this pen, which you notice is pretty much the same color, from Mayfair Pens. I got this at the San Francisco Pen Show last year, 2024. And I love the color. It's this aqua, and this has pink in it. I love the grip section, pardon my, anyway. And it's just really comfortable. And it's funky. So this is another current favorite. If you ask me in a month, my answer might be different. I mean, if you ask me tomorrow, maybe. Moving on. Number 5, if you have to choose one nib size, which would it be? First off, who is making me choose? Because that's not a friend. But if I have to choose one nib size, it's going to be medium. I find for me, it's the most versatile. In Maria's perfect world, would be able to choose a broad nib. But in the world we live in, sometimes I need something smaller like a medium. So medium it is. When I buy expensive to me pens, I usually will buy them in a medium for that reason, because I know it'll be more versatile. Number 6, what is your favorite nib grind? The basic one that comes with a pen. I like just the smooth writing experience of that. I have only one custom nib grind that I can remember, which is the Journaler nib from Gina Salarino. I love that. So if I have to say a custom nib grind, it's that one, because it's my only one. But really, like, I also have a broad sig from Franklin Christoph, and those two are fairly similar as far as these things go. I do like the Journaler a bit more, but honestly, just a real basic round-ish nib is great. Number 7, if you could only use one ink for the rest of your life, what would it be? Again, who is making me choose? I don't like this. I don't even know if I could answer this question. One ink. Well, it would have to be something pretty legible and something that performed well. There's a part of me that would want to say Tsutsuji because I love that ink so much, but I think it would feel stabby if that was the only ink I had. I would like maybe something like Tsukio. I just got a sample of Rika, which is a possible contender, but I would want, realistically, if I could only use one kind of ink, I would want something that's legible, something that is going to behave well in most pens and nibs and on most papers. But realistically, I'm not going to choose. Thanks. Although, honestly, the other answer would be I would choose a gel pen because you need it for like legal things. Great. Number 8. What is an absolute deal breaker for you for a pen and for an ink? Anybody who's been here any amount of time knows probably at least 2 of my deal breakers for pins. And I could probably get over them if I wanted to, but it's actually good sometimes to have deal breakers like these because it helps keep everything in check. Mine are gold hardware and rounded or super pointy finials. Nope, don't like them. So basically all of my pins are flat. There's 1 or 2 exceptions I can think of that happen to be right here. So my Laban Rainbow Skeleton, this one somehow doesn't bother me as much. So I suppose it's not a deal breaker. Although when I bought them, my tastes had not completely solidified, or maybe I hadn't been able to put my finger on it. And my 3776 Nice Pure, what I've come to realize is I think on this one, it doesn't bother me as much because it's a demonstrator, and so I can't really see them. But yeah, I am very much team flat top. Or slightly pointed top, like on the Charleston. I like that kind of conical thing. And deal breaker for an ink, well, if it doesn't write, that would be a deal breaker. But otherwise, I no longer purchase inks that I think are going to be too light for me to read on the sort of cream Sanzen paper that's in a Hobonichi, because that's what's in my nightly journal and my 5-year journal. And so I need to be able to read those. And when I'm writing in them, it's generally at night in poor lighting. So I don't buy inks now that I think would be too light. And that's probably it. Though I will say I have some inks like that, and they're still going to be useful because I can use them in other situations, but I don't buy them now. And the 9th question of 8 pin questions: what is one pin everyone should have? Yep, right here, Uniball. Love it. A++, writes real smoothly, clips on your pocket, it's retractable. I think it's fantastic. If we talk fountain pens, I don't know that I could really fairly answer that because everybody's needs and preferences are different, and I don't think that I should be prescribing pens to others. If we look at my collection, I mean, by sheer numbers, I kind of feel like I should say the TWSBI Eco, but I'll be honest, I didn't really love the aesthetics of those. I still don't love that the little decoration on the finial is red, which I don't think goes with all of the colors of the caps. That still bothers me a little, but obviously isn't a deal breaker. And if I look at most of my other pens, what if I say this? I think if it's in their budget, everyone should own a pen from a small maker, and preferably one where they can speak to the maker and meet the maker and have a conversation and really have that connection between a craftsperson and the thing they're crafting, and then that tool that you wind up using to write with. So my most valued pens tend to be in that category. So, I met Sean Newton. I bought pens from him before I met him, but I talked to him about the pen, and that was a really cool thing. And everyone pretty much will tell you how great Jonathan Brooks is to talk to. And I didn't get a chance really to talk to Gina Salarino when I bought the journaler from them. And I realize that that's a nib grind and not a pen, but it's a similar sort of thing. So I think that's what I would say. I would, and I just also like supporting um, small businesses and um, craftspeople who are doing things like this, probably for the love of it. Yeah, so I think that would be my suggestion. It would not be a particular pen, but should budget be able to, owning a pen that you could meet and talk to the person who took that and turned it on a lathe themselves. That would be my suggestion. Yeah. So hopefully you enjoyed that 8 more pen questions. Sorry if it's a little scattered. It is in the evening and I've had a wonderful and busy day. But I'm also a little bit tired. I've been talking a lot, which is actually, quite frankly, wonderful because I enjoy that. Real quick, behind me, this is a quilt I'm working on, and you can see some of my little mans up in the windows. Yeah, I want to say a big thank you to Simona and to the wonderful folks in her Discord server for all the great conversation, but also for getting this 8 more pin questions going and submitting great questions. And just everyone is so friendly and supportive of everyone. And that's really wonderful. And I think that's it for me. I hope whenever you're watching this, you're having a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. Bye.